Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the webinar. A couple of housekeeping items before we get started with our presentation. First of all, your phone lines are muted upon entry into the webinar. So if you have questions at any point in time, if you could please enter those into the chat or the Q&A. We will address those questions at the end of the presentation. If you can also indicate which one of our speakers that question is regarding, that would be helpful too, but not 100% necessary. There is also a ability to have closed captions, which we will share later on within the agenda. And also, we are recording this webinar, and we will provide a PDF of these slides post this event. And the recording will be available on comed.com/webinars 5 to 7 business days after this webinar. So with all of those housekeeping items announced, it is my pleasure to introduce your host, Matt Worms. Matt is a Senior Energy Efficiency Program Manager for the Commercial and Industrial offering. With 6 years of experience in energy efficiency, Matt takes pride in managing one of the largest energy efficiency programs in the country, offering incentives in lighting, HVAC, refrigeration, compressed air, and industrial equipment. It's my pleasure to introduce Matt. Matt, take it away.
Thanks, Angela, and good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. It's in the busy work day, so appreciate you guys carving out some time and joining the webinar. We'll get right into the agenda here. Before we start with our keynote speakers, we do have a little safety message and some webinar instructions for you, maybe just in addition to what Angela had just mentioned at the top of the call there. Then we'll get into our welcome message from Choose DuPage and ComEd. And we also are very excited that we have a customer perspective from Drummond Industries. And we'll close the webinar with an overview of the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program and its offerings, as well as some resources that you can take advantage of from ComEd and how to get started in your energy efficiency sort of journey. And finally, we'll close with the Q&A portion of the webinar. So like I said, we'll start with the safety message. We are just kind of approaching the last few months of summer here. So pretty timely message in that we want to keep workers hydrated. It's very important for employers to ensure that workers are hydrated, have easy access to water, and rest. And employers can also encourage proper hydration by equipping all work areas with accessible and visible cool water, encouraging workers to drink at least 1 cup. That equates to about 8 ounces of water every 15 to 20 minutes, especially while working in the heat. Always important to maintain a cool or shaded rest break location. And also designating a relief person so that workers can take water breaks, or having a water brought directly to workers that cannot leave their workstations. Additionally, it's important to consider providing electrolyte products for workers that perform strenuous sweat-producing job tasks for extended periods of time. Much like that water doesn't provide the salt and electrolytes that an electrolyte drink would. So just to add to what Angela had mentioned at the top of the call, the slides will be provided to all registrants following the presentation. So you will get a copy after our webinar here. The webinar recording will also be posted on the ComEd website webinar page. That link is included right there. You can also access captions by going into the settings of Teams. I believe it's the 3 little dots, and then kind of scrolling over to the CC or captions area. Also, just for questions for Q&A, when presenting a question, at any point during the webinar, please post it to that Q&A function It's there for you guys to use at any point, so please don't feel like you need to hold on to those questions towards the end when we do address those. But please feel free to add those at any time. So bear with me as I turn back on the lights here. I have to move every so often. If relevant, please also include your question or who it is directed towards. And there will be time at the end that we will actually audibly address the questions. Additionally, there will be poll questions that pop up during the middle of the presentation, so just keep an eye out for that. We really would appreciate your participation in these poll questions. So we'll give you a little heads up, but they will come throughout the presentation. All right, so today we will get into our core presenters here. Myself is the host, Matt Worms. I am the Senior Energy Efficiency Program Manager for the standard offering in ComEd's Energy Efficiency Program. We have Rita Hockey from Choose DuPage, the Senior Vice President, Steve Lurup from Drummond Industries, and Eric Hammersley, an outreach service provider for the ComEd Energy Efficiency portfolio. So we're going to start with our overview and introduction from Choose DuPage. And we're very excited to have Rita Hockey here. In her current role with Choose DuPage, Rita leads efforts to support organizations on business retention and growth. And with a wealth of experience, Rita has established herself as a trusted expert, renowned for her strategic insights and unparalleled dedication to business success. Please take it away, Rita.
Thank you, Matt. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today on behalf of Choose DuPage. Next slide. So today I'm just going to give a brief overview of who Choose DuPage is and then two of our initiatives, Connect DuPage and Sustainable DuPage. Next slide. All righty. Choose DuPage is the Economic Development Alliance for DuPage County. We are a public-private partnership. Our public funding comes from DuPage County. Our mission is business attraction, business retention, and business growth. Everything we do revolves around business activities. Two of the most recent initiatives are our Connect DuPage and our Sustainable DuPage. So Connect DuPage is where we are fostering business-to-business collaborations and connections. On our website is a supplier portal. We encourage businesses to register, create a profile. In addition, that registration portal is live, so any business can go and search for businesses to do business with. So think of it as a credible yellow pages. We do encourage local purchasing. We want to keep that money in our own economy. We also found it's helping with some supply chain challenges. We are trying to do our best to help the disadvantaged, women-owned, minority-owned, veteran-owned, physically disabled-owned businesses. So we do run educational events to help in various ways. Next week, next Tuesday, we are having a mental health in the workplace. So we do still have registration availability on that one. Please visit choosedupage.com to either do a registration in the portal, to search the portal, or to register for any of our trainings. Sustainable DuPage, that is where we are helping businesses to move towards positive impacts on the environment, reduce the negative impacts. That is why we're here today. Thank you to ComEd for being a strong partner and hosting this webinar today under our Sustainable DuPage initiative. We do have a green business checklist available for any business who wants to conduct a self-assessment with internal staff, but we are doing customized green business assessments for any business who would like to volunteer. Those take 1 to 2 hours and will result in a customized recommendation report for the business. There are no requirements to participate. We are also having educational events from that initiative. And again, choosedupage.com will give you more information about any and all of this information. Now back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Rita. Awesome presentation there. And please feel encouraged to check out that website at choosedupage.com for just looking around the portal and all the other resources and trainings that they provide. All right, we're moving on to our customer perspective here from Drummond Industries. Very excited to introduce Steve Lurup, who is the Vice President and CFO. Drummond Industries is a Bensonville-based company specializing in plastic injection molding and comprehensive part assembly. He's been with Drummond for almost 30 years and an owner for almost 20 years. And Steve strives to find efficiencies in the company's day-to-day operations. Steve, please take it away.
Thank you, Matt. I'm glad to share my experience with ComEd's energy efficiency program. Just a little bit about Drummond. We are a custom plastic injection molder. We're involved in the medical, dental, point of purchase display, industrial, electrical industries. We have a 50,000 square foot facility, and we operate 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. As far as the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, we've had 5 programs that we participated in, redoing a complete redo of all of our LED lights in our factory and warehouse. Over the last maybe 2.5 years, we've installed 4 all-electric machines. And you're probably wondering, why did we buy into that, especially the machine program? Because I've heard of the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, but it wasn't until I actually met with another molder who participated and spoke very highly of his positive experience. So regarding the projects, the total cost, we've spent $573,000, of which ComEd rebated $73,000. So about a 13% savings, and estimated annual saving or kilowatt hour saving about 400,000, with $28,000 in estimated annual savings on the electricity side. And yes, I have actually seen our bill come down. It's hard to, because everything's relative and prices change, but we have seen an overall decline in our electricity usage. So through those efficiency programs, you probably wonder, why I did buy into this program. First of all, it was from the positive experience, but the maths made sense from a perspective. You get the rebate, you get the energy efficiency program, but also a big factor was being able to write off the brand new equipment in the first year and save on taxes. So overall, I'll speak more to those other things, the other positives to it. I just want to talk about the process. Overall, it's a very convenient process. The form takes about 20 minutes to complete, and you're given a dedicated representative to communicate with, ask questions, and follow up with. And in fact, we recently just applied for our 5th machine. We're swapping out 170 ton to 150 ton press and all electric. And sent the application in. Within a couple hours, I received acknowledgement that they received the application. The next day, I got approval that it moved to pre-approval status. So I would expect in the next week or so, I'll get the application approved. And that's the point where I issue a purchase order and coordinate the delivery of the new equipment and installation. And then the next step would be to put in your final application once everything's installed and up and running. And then I would say once that's done and approved, you'll get an email approving that, saying yes, it was approved. And I would say it takes maybe 3, at the most 4 weeks to receive that rebate. So all in all, it's typically about a 2-month project for us to go from the application stage to approval to installation and then the rebate. So yeah, overall, just a convenient process and constant communication. they don't mind if you ask questions about status and timing and so forth. Also, just wanted to, the credit is based on the size of the machine that you're putting in. So the more tonnage, the higher the rebate. The benefits of the EEP program, obviously reduced electricity when you're going to an all-electric machine. Maintenance costs are lower. With the newer equipment, increased precision, repeatability, faster cycle times, which is a great benefit. You have a quieter working environment, and especially in the summertime, like August, our shop is not air conditioned, so lower heat is a big factor as well. As far as us, like I said, our future steps, we just put an application in for installing a new piece of equipment, and I'd be glad to answer any questions down the road at the end of the seminar if anybody has any for me. Thanks again.
Thank you, Steve. Awesome perspective to, oh, sorry, we have the poll question here. So Angela,
I'm trying to launch the poll question.
Okay.
Go ahead and read it.
I'll slowly read the question as we launch the poll. So even as I mentioned at the top of the call, we'll have poll questions. It even caught me by surprise too. So apologies there. So poll question number 1, what is your facility's biggest barrier to pursuing energy efficiency projects? And select all that apply. So this is not one and done. You can choose any of the 5 options there. One of them being time commitment, B being lack of funding, C, don't know where to start, D, need stakeholder support, or E, other.
Okay, our poll question pop-up is not functioning properly. I got a very sweet error message. So we'll just think about our answers and keep moving forward. So sorry about that, folks. I really apologize that the technology did not support me today. We'll just keep going.
All good. But yeah, thanks again, Steve. It's always nice to have a customer perspective. And Steve mentioned something that transitions pretty nicely into our next section here, in that you are designated outreach service provider support. And for our next section, we're really excited to have Eric Hammersley, who's part of our ComEd Energy Efficiency Program as an outreach service provider. In this role, he supports public and private sector customers in ComEd's territory in exploring energy efficiency opportunities and available incentives for their facilities. He has over 25 years of experience in the electrical field, including contracting, distribution, and sales. Please take it away, Eric.
Thank you, Matt. Good morning, everyone. My name is Eric Hammersley, and I'm the Public Sector Outreach Service Provider in the Standard Program for the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program. Today, I'm going to give you a high-level overview of the different ComEd energy efficiency programs that are offered. Next slide. When lighting and heating systems are more efficient, they consume less electricity to operate. Energy efficiency helps customers save energy and in turn lower their energy bills. When customers save money on their energy bills, they have more capital to reinvest. By using energy more efficiently, customers contribute to reducing our carbon footprint. On the next slide, we'll get more into the impacts of what energy efficiency program has had since 2008. Since 2008, the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program has been responsible for saving customers $9 billion in their energy bill. ComEd has completed almost 500,000 energy assessments. With the energy that has been saved, it would power 9.4 million homes for a year, which is pretty impressive. Some of the ways this has been achieved is by the ComEd Clean Energy Solutions, which we'll get into on another slide. Next slide, please. So the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is funded by customers. Customers have a charge on their monthly bill, and you can see an example on the right side of the screen where you can find that charge on your bill. The rate of that charge is based on the customer's kWh usage. Sorry, go ahead, next slide. Here are some of the ways ComEd helps customers save energy and money and help the planet. Energy efficiency, demand response, solar customer support, and fleet electrification and fuel switching, to name a few. We'll be going over most of them more in depth throughout the presentation. Next slide. So ComEd offers free facility assessments. A ComEd engineer will walk the whole facility and find opportunities for you to pursue that will save energy and money. And the best part is it's free. The incentives offered help reduce the cost of a project and improves your ROI. The more energy you save, the more incentives you receive. Instant discounts is an incentive at the point of sale. No paperwork is needed from the customer. Products must be purchased by a verified distributor. This includes products like lighting, HVAC, high efficiency fork truck battery chargers, and lithium ion electric fork trucks. Some of the optimization programs are RCX or retro commissioning, Fix It Now for compressed air, and strategic energy management, which we'll dive deeper in later slides. Facility assessments are a great way to identify capital energy efficiency opportunities, as well as low cost, no cost operational measures for your facility. The assessments, again, are free and are done by a ComEd engineer. A facility assessment report example is on the right. They identify the measures and show you what the annual cost savings would be if implemented. It gives you an idea of what the project would cost and the amount of the incentives you could receive. The simple payback shows how long it will take to get back the money you spent on the project from the energy that's been saved. Facility assessments are also available for the small business offering for customers that fall under 400 kWh peak demand, and we'll go over that in another slide. Virtual facility assessments and fleet electrification assessments are also available. You can get more information by following the link here. And I believe that takes us to our second poll question. So I will read the question. If you want to answer it, you can go ahead and put it in the chat. Which of these are the most motivating factors for your facility to pursue energy efficiency? A, operating cost reduction. B, environmental concerns. C, alignment with sustainability goals. D, community interest. E, other. We'll give you like a couple seconds to answer it if you want to answer it in the chat. Thank you. Thank you, Ian. A, B, and C. Okay, that's great. Brian, A. Looks like A is pretty popular. Thank you, everyone, for who's answered. I believe we can go ahead and move on. Dive. The standard program has prescriptive measures that provide incentives for energy efficient upgrades. This requires a pre-application to be submitted and a reservation letter to be received before the install of the project. Projects where measures are over $300 will require an Illinois Commerce Commission certified installer. Some of the measures include indoor and outdoor lighting, which has been most popular in the past, HVAC, including VSDs, and energy management systems. The standard program also has a promotion that runs all year for a 10% bonus for equipment that is at least 50% manufactured or assembled in Illinois. On the next slide, we have a case study of a project that was completed in the standard program. The Zion-Benton Public Library took advantage of a free facility assessment and implemented a lighting upgrade and an energy management system. The total project cost was just over $13,000, and the almost $12,000 they received in incentives, their total project cost was only $1,300. Now they are saving $4,200 annually with a 4-month payback. Next slide. The custom program is for measures that are not prescriptive measures in the standard program. If kWh savings can be quantified by the project you are completing, this will result in incentives for your project. Some of the measures include specialty or new construction lighting, VFDs on motors that are over 200 horsepower, and IT upgrades. The click here is a link that will provide additional information for the custom program. They currently have a promotion for select communities that will give you an additional 15% on your incentives if you complete a project before the end of the year. The link in the eligibility box will take you to which communities are considered select communities. On the next slide, we'll be going over the small business offering. The small business offering is for customers, private and public, that fall under 400 kWh peak demand. Unlike the standard program where you can use in-house staff to install energy efficient equipment, you must use one of the 77 closed network energy efficiency service providers to do the install. These energy efficiency service providers are also the ones that do facility assessments for customers under 400 kWh peak demand. Projects that go through the small business offering see incentives that cover about 50 to 75% of the project cost. The prescriptive measures are similar to the standard program and include lighting, HVAC, and weatherization, to name a few. You can find more information by going to the link listed here. The small business offering has promotional campaigns going on until the end of the year, and those are on the next slide. Public sector customers that fall under 400 kWh peak demand can get additional 15% increase on their incentives, capped at $10,000. If you're a facility in a select community, you're eligible for a 30% increase in your incentives, capped at $20,000. If you are a public facility in a select community, you can receive 45% additional incentives, capped at $30,000. Pre-application needs to be submitted before October 31st, and final application has to be submitted before December 13th to qualify for the additional incentives. The summer savings campaign is an additional bonus for non-lighting measures with a pre-application in before September 22nd and a final application in before December 13th. On the next slide, we'll go over some of the small business processes. Energy assessments are free from an energy efficiency service provider. To schedule an assessment, you can go to the link provided here. The energy efficiency service provider will identify opportunities and give you the incentives available through ComEd. The application process is easy. Sign the pre-application to confirm the scope of work. Once the project is approved, the energy efficiency service provider will do the install. And once that is complete and you verify your satisfaction of the project by signing the final application, ComEd will then pay the incentives. On the next slide, we have a case study of a project, what is completed in the small business. The McDonald's in Arlington Heights completed a project that included installing LED lights and replacing their old HVAC system. $74,000 was the project cost before they received just under $46,000 in incentives, which brought their cost to $28,000, saving them over $13,000 a year. And they will recoup what they spent in just over 2 years from the energy saved. Next slide. The instant discount program. The incentives for the instant discount program are given to customers at the point of sale and require no paperwork from the customer. You must use one of the 110 verified distributors to receive the incentives, and you can find the verified distributors on the ComEd website, or you can send me an email and I'll send you the link. The instant discount program includes LED lamps, HVAC rooftop units, air source heat pumps, lithium-ion electric fork trucks, and high-efficiency battery charger products. There are links here that provide additional information on the instant discount program. And with that, we have our third poll question. Which of the following types of projects would you like to further explore and implement? A, indoor or outdoor lighting, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, IT optimization, pre-facility assessment, or other. I'll give you guys a few minutes to go ahead and answer that question, or a few seconds. All right. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Lori. Lori, my information is at the end. Feel free. Anyone who wants a facility assessment, feel free to reach out to me. I'll go ahead and get you started. All right. Industrial systems offering. Customers receive a fully funded study of their industrial equipment. This includes compressed air, industrial refrigeration, process cooling, and wastewater treatment, to name a few. The incentives to reduce energy consumption is 18 cents per annual kWh savings. There is also an additional 15% incentive for select communities who complete a capital project in 2024. There's also an opportunity to get an additional 25% on your incentive if you submit a signed customer selection form by September 30th and finish the project before December 1st. A link to highly qualified network of energy efficiency service providers is here, along with a link to the program's website for more information. On the next slide, we'll talk a little bit about the Industrial Systems Fix It Now. The Fix It Now program captures savings from improved operations and maintenance by fixing compressed air leaks, optimizing refrigeration, and tuning chillers. As long as you use a verified energy efficiency service provider from the link provided on the last slide, you can get your air compressor leaks repaired with no cost to you. The small business offering also has a measure for compressed air leak repair that customers under 400 kWh peak demand can take advantage of using a closed network service provider. On the next slide, we'll be going over strategic energy management, or sometimes called SEM. The Strategic Energy Management Program focuses on people and processes rather than just equipment upgrades. The program includes a year-long series of workshops and coaching sessions focused on identifying and implementing energy efficiency opportunities for both operational and behavioral changes. ComEd's Strategic Energy Management Program motivates employees to consider behavioral and operational changes that lead to long-lasting energy savings without significant capital investments. Energy models are created for selected sites to monitor energy performance over the program year. For more information on the SEM program, you can click on the link at the bottom of the slide. Next, we'll move to retro commissioning, or RCX. So retro commissioning, sometimes referred to as RCX, is an engineering study of building systems to identify low cost improvements to building operations with simple paybacks of less than 18 months. RCX takes a study-based approach to calibrate and optimize building systems like your HVAC and lighting. Follow the link at the bottom of the slide for more information about retro commissioning. The next slide goes into a little more detail about the 3 different commissioning programs that are offered. I want to highlight that RCX has various offerings for any size facility to best fit your needs and identify best solutions. Larger buildings can explore the longer-term offerings with retro commissioning flex and monitor-based commissioning, while smaller buildings can explore shorter-term offerings with retro commissioning express and virtual commissioning. On the next slide, we have a case study from Michigan Plaza. Chicago Michigan Plaza participated in both the retro commissioning and monitor-based commissioning program studies that resulted in over 4.5 million kWh savings. The total implementation cost was just under $12,000. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program incentive was about $158,000. And the estimated annual electric savings cost was $141,000. They had an estimated payback after incentives that was less than a month. Next slide. The Building Operator Certification is a nationally recognized training and certification program that focuses on energy efficient building operations and preventative maintenance procedures. ComEd customers who earn the training certificate of completion will receive a full reimbursement of the $1,400 cost of the course. The next slide, we'll go over the new construction program. The new construction program, technical assistance and incentives for new construction or major renovation that are over 5,000 square feet. In order to qualify, ComEd must be engaged during the design phase, and the design must exceed current Illinois Energy Conservation Code requirements and must include at least 2 of these primary building systems. For more information on the new construction program, follow the link to the program website. On the next slide, I'll talk a little bit about K through 12 public school carbon-free assessments. The Public School Carbon-Free Assessments, or PSCFA, is a free facility assessment that identifies measures to save schools energy and money. Participants in the program receive guidance on things like becoming carbon-free and details on supporting electrification, like electric school buses. This program also has outreach service providers that can assist with the application process and requesting a facility assessment. So with that, let's talk about the other clean energy solutions offered by ComEd, like EV and solar. Next slide. The fleet electrical vehicle, let's start that over. The fleet vehicle rebate provides rebates towards the purchase of vehicles registered in Illinois for commercial use, including light, medium, and heavy-duty vehicles. Transit and school buses are also eligible. Make-ready charging infrastructure rebate provides rebates for make-ready work that enables electric vehicle charging stations at commercial and industrial customer locations that have a commercial ComEd electric account. For additional information on EV rebates, follow the links listed here. Next, we'll talk a little bit about the solar incentives and customer tools. ComEd customers are offered federal and state incentives if you choose to go solar. The Green Power Connection team provides online resources as well as subject matter experts to help customers explore solar options, select qualified contractors, generate customized reports, monitor project progress, track energy usage, and calculate savings. Contact the Green Power Connection team or your LCS manager for additional information. Next slide. All right. Customers with a ComEd account and a Nicor Peoples or North Shore Gas account are eligible for a home energy assessment. Single-family homes, condos, townhomes, and 2-flat buildings can get a free personalized home energy assessment report and energy saving products installed. To sign up for a free personalized home energy assessment, sign up at the link provided. Next slide. Here's a list of ComEd resources and links to provide you with additional information. My information is on this slide. Please feel free to reach out with any questions or for any program information. Thank you all for your time. I hope this was helpful. And with that, I'll pass it back to Matt.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. That's some very, very good information. I know that that was a lot of information for folks on the call. So lots of ways to get involved in the energy efficiency program. Again, we'll transition to our Q&A section now. So if there are any still pending questions, that you guys please feel encouraged to put them in the chat. I don't see any in the Q&A section in particular, but if the chat works easier, I'm sure we can accommodate that.
100%. We do have a question in the chat, and maybe Eric, you can drop your email address into the chat, because our question is, how do I set up a meeting with Eric to discuss a technology that may or may not fit with the programs offered? Wonderful. Thanks, Eric. Yeah, folks, don't hold back if you've got questions you've been sitting on. We've got all of our experts here, customer experts, DuPage expert. We're ready to assist you. And for folks who had maybe captured other in your poll questions, if there's something we can help you with on the other selection based on all the information we've shared today, maybe we can address that question as well. Don't see additional things in chat, but we'll give people a second to type those in. And there's nothing in Q&A right now. Additionally, a reminder, we do have all the links that are in all of these slides. They'll be available to you via the PDF that we'll send out post the webinar. So anything that we have hyperlinked, it'll be accessible when you receive the presentation. I'm not seeing any additional questions, so I'm gonna just pop around the horn and just check in with Rita. Rita, any closing comments from you?
I want to say thank you again for doing this. We really appreciate it. And I hope people will take advantage of any assessments offered, whether through our organization or ComEd. There are many things that can be done that would be low cost. So it's not all high cost necessarily. And the savings could be tremendous even with your low cost investment.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rita. We do have a suggestion in the chat for Eric. Can you speak to the facility assessment sign-up process that might help folks?
Of course, yeah. So basically you can go ahead to the ComEd website. You can sign up for a free assessment, or you're more than welcome to just reach out to me and I can get that started for you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And then back around the horn, Steve, any closing comments from you?
I want to reiterate what Rita said. I mean, don't hesitate looking into the program and, evaluate the options once the information is in front of you. It's no cost. So it's, why not try it and try to lower your electricity bill at the same time.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that endorsement. One more question coming through. Eric, can you share some information on how someone can find a contractor or installer for a project?
So there is a link on the ComEd website. You can go ahead and choose a contractor from that link, or feel free to reach out to me and I can get you in touch with someone from the standard team to get you a contractor.
Great, thank you so much. And then Matt, your last speaker here. Any closing comments from you, Matt?
Yeah, I would just say, I mean, we have a wealth of opportunities through ComEd to get involved and do an energy efficiency project. So it might seem maybe a bit overwhelming, but that's why it's really important to reach out to somebody like Eric to get you set up and guide you through the process. As Eric and his colleagues are very knowledgeable on all the different offerings and where each type of customer fits throughout the program.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And again, just a great thank you to all of you who attended today. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us. We will provide the information post the webinar. The recording will be on comed.com/webinar, and we will send out a PDF of the slide with all the active links. And I just want to thank our speakers, Rita, Steve, Eric. Big thank you to Matt for hosting. Thanks to Diva for running the presentation in the background. And I hope everybody learned something new today. And I hope everybody will go ahead and start a project or reach out to Eric to get started. So thank you so much. And thanks, Lynette, for dropping that link in the chat on finding a service provider. Appreciate that. And with that, we'll close the webinar. Thank you all for joining.